Hello and welcome. You're watching Market Express and I'm your host Himakshi Bahugna. Now let's get straight into the show. Benchmarks kickstart the week with the gains. The Nifty end higher above the 22,500 mark, whereas the Sensex gains above 74,100 levels. Now broader markets outperform benchmarks. Sectoral action mixed on the Lal Street today while most sectors rally. PSU, FMCG, media, PSU, banks and realty drag. Pharma and financial services lend support. Rupee strengthens, rises to highest level since February 24. The rupee is boosted by higher FII flows. Recession fears in the US weaken the dollar. Gold prices take an upswing, breaching fresh highs for another day as global tensions continue to simmer. Gold is trending at $2,985 per ounce dollar. The yellow metal popular in South Asia is trading over 90,000 rupees per 10 grams of 24 carat. Now, the recent rally is on the back of uncertainty around US tariffs. As potential trade wars are amplifying economic risk and market volatility, central banks around the world are increasing purchase of gold. IndusInd Bank shares rise after the Reserve Bank issues clarification, assuring depositors of financial stability. Now, the central bank said that as per auditor-reviewed financial results of the bank for the quarter ended December, the lender has maintained a comfortable level of key parameters like liquidity coverage ratio and provision coverage. Now, the clarification by the RBI came days after IndusInd Bank disclosed a discrepancy in accounting with an estimated impact of 2.35% of the bank's net worth. HSBC upgrades Tata Motors to buy stance with a target of 840 rupees. HSBC says that Tata Motors valuations are undemanding with margin growth triggers. More reasons for the upgrade are reduction in discounts and warranty cost in Jaguar Land Rover. Recovery in domestic small commercial vehicles aid in margin expansion. Nifty IT is one of the top sectoral losers. This is on the back of large-cap IT names dragging the index. Nearly all constituents barring two were in the red today. LTI Mindtree cracking over 3%. KC International announces securing new orders of 1,127 crore rupees across various businesses. The company's transmission and distribution business orders for tower hardware and pole supply in the US. The company's cables business bags orders for various cables and conductors in India and overseas. Welspun Specialty Solutions bagged 232 crore rupees order from BHEL. The contract is for supply of stainless steel seamless boiler tubes worth 232 crore rupees. Now, the project will be executed in next 13 months. Seagull India bags a letter of award for 923 crore rupees order from NHAI. The company will be developing 6-lane greenfield southern Ludhiana bypass. The timeline of the project execution is 24 months. GR Infra Projects emerge as selected bidder for 4,263 crore rupees order from NHAI. The completion of the project will take 910 days from appointed date. The company will be additionally constructing Agra-Gwalior Greenfield Road. KPIT Tech jumps after the company announces that Qualcomm Ventures LLC hired a stakeholder in its joint venture company Qorix. As per the company, Qualcomm can invest up to 10 million euros in Qorix. The company is a 100% owned subsidiary of KPIT Technologies and subsequently formed a joint venture between KPIT and ZF Frederick Sheffin AG. Citi upgrades Gujarat State Petronet from sell to buy. The brokerage sees approval for the company's Anjar Palanpur pipeline as a key positive. The new pipeline will involve a capex of 2,100 crore rupees and will most likely increase competition for Petronet's Dahej terminal. Now, it will also help reverse the company's previous 47% tariff cut in the long term. SpiceJet shares rose after promoter Ajay Singh announced the conversion of 13.14 crore warrants into equity shares, as a result of which the airline will get an infusion of 294 crore rupees. Ajay Singh had also sold 1.15 crore shares or 0.9% equity for 52 crore rupees in the airline via bulk deal last week. Strides Pharma gains after the company arm Strides Pharma Global proposed to acquire 100% stake in Amixel Pte Limited, Singapore. The company's arm proposed to create a platform for more deals between India, China and other Southeast Asian countries. Adani Green stock jumps after MK maintains a buy on the company, lowering target to 1,500 rupees. Now, MK says that the lower target price still implies potential upside of 76%. MK maintains a constructive view due to attractive valuations, robust growth outlook. It also expects the company's operation capacity to achieve 25% growth rate through FY31. Transformers and rectifiers get 726 crore rupees order from Gujarat Energy Transmission Corporation for auto transformers. The project is to be completed within a span of 18 months from the date of issue of letter of interest. Now, the stock was up over 4% today in trade. UBS initiates buy on BSE with an upside potential of 35%. The brokerage says that the rise in options turnover acts as a key driver for the exchange. It expects BSE to gain market share despite a 20% lower daily average turnover in FY26. Cantor is optimistic on Adani Power. The company sets the target price at 595 rupees, implying a 16% upside. Adani Power has more thermal power capacity versus Tata Power and Reliance Power. Australian mines and port coverage gives company a much better supply chain. Company has good balance sheet flexibility and the valuations also remain quite reasonable. LG Electronics, the second largest home appliance player in India, is preparing to list the company on the exchanges. The company receives SEBI approval for 15,000 crore rupees initial public offering. The parent company, LG Electronics, is looking to divest a 15% stake. Mahindra launches the XUV 700 SUV in Ebony Limited Edition. The model is priced between 19.64 to 24.14 lakh rupees. The exterior gets an all-black treatment offset by brushed silver skid plates. The blacked-out theme is carried onto the inside, offset by silver accents on the center console. The Mahindra XUV 700 has clocked 250,000 units in less than 4 years. LTI Mindtree cracks after the company's biggest client, Citigroup, announces plan to cut IT contractors by 30%. Citigroup will be instead hiring thousands of employees for IT. Now, the company is grappling with regulatory punishments over data governance and deficient controls. Additionally, Citigroup aims to cut back external contractors to 20% from the current 50%. Donald Trump says that he's adamant on April 2nd reciprocal tariff plan, expresses no intention to create exemptions on steel and aluminium tariffs. He reiterates that reciprocal tariffs on U.S. trade partners will be imposed on April 2nd alongside sectoral tariffs. The wholesale price in inflation in February rises 2.38%, primarily due to an increase in fuel and power prices. Now, this, along with higher costs in the manufacturing sector, led to the increase. Now, this is higher than the WPI rate in January, which stood at 2.31%. The fuel and power inflation fell 0.7% versus a decline of 2.78% in January. Wholesale core inflation rate rises to 1.3% versus 0.9% in January. The food inflation is at 5.94% versus 7.47% in January. Supreme Court sets aside the order of the National Green Tribunal, which barred the Auroville Foundation from developmental activities in the township in Puducherry. The court found that in the instant case, there was no violation of any law related to environmental protection. Hence, the tribunal committed gross error in assuming the jurisdiction and giving directions which were untenable in the law. The court set aside the NGT's directions as passed without jurisdiction and legally untenable. Jio announces IPL bonanza ahead of the IPL. The company announces 90-day free Hotstar subscription for cricket fans ahead of the IPL 2025 to its Jio SIM. JioFiber and Jio AirFiber users. Now, the offer is available for both existing and new Jio SIM users who recharge with a plan of 299 rupees or above. Jio is also offering a 50-day free trial of JioFiber or Jio AirFiber for home users. Hindustan Construction Company, in partnership with Tata Project, backs 2,191 crore rupees for Indore Metro. With the current order, the company's share in Indore Metro project stands at 1,205 crore rupees. Ola Electric breaks down after Rosmata Digital and operational creditor sues the company. The action comes in on the back of the company allegedly defaulting on the payment obligations. A high security number plate manufacturer and vehicle registration agency sued the company for defaulting on payments. Now, with this, the stock fell below the mark of 50 apiece. The company filed the petition against the company at the National Company Law Tribunal, that is the NCLT, Bengaluru, and also petitioned to initiate corporate insolvency proceedings against the company. India's biggest car maker, Maruti Suzuki, announces price hike of 4% from April 2025. This is the third price hike of 2025. As per the company, the decision stems from the rising input costs and operational expenses. The company aims to reclaim 50% market share in India by the end of this decade. Lupin gets US drug regulator nod for autoimmune disorder drug. The drug is called amifampridine. The tablets, it will be manufactured at Lupin's Goa facility. The stock rises above 1% in trade today. RateGain Travel announces partnership with Revenue Analytics. The partnership is to integrate Navigator's competitive rate intelligence with end-to-end pricing revenue management system, that is the RMS. Now, Revenue Analytics is a leading provider of revenue management solutions. This integration empowers hotels with the most accurate and up-to-date pricing intelligence, enabling smarter, data-driven decisions that drive revenue growth. Ajmera Realty will be redeveloping a project in Andheri West, Mumbai with a gross development value of 320 crore rupees. The company will redevelop the premises of Ascot Co-operative Housing Society Limited. Now, the project covers a total land area of 2,319 square meter and will be developed in a single phase. The project is expected to generate an estimated sales revenue of 320 crore rupees with a total estimated carpet area of around 71,300 square feet, Ajmera Realty. Eraya Life Spaces announces that the company has initiated legal actions against Elara Capital PLC in High Court of Justice, King's Bench Division of England and Wales for release of remaining FCCBS proceeds amounting to $40 million. Fast fashion retailer Forever 21 files for bankruptcy. This is the second time in 6 years that the company has filed for bankruptcy. Now, dwindling mall traffic and mounting competition from online retailers has hit the stores. The company says that it will conduct liquidation sales at its stores while simultaneously conducting a court-supervised sale and marketing process for some or all of its assets. Quick commerce platform Swiggy Instamart says that it expands to reach 200 cities across India, responding to the growing demand for 10-minute deliveries, particularly in Tier 2 and 3 cities. With this expansion, millions of new customers now have access to over 30,000 products, from groceries and daily essentials to electronics, smartphones, fashion, makeup, toys, and more, all delivered in 10 minutes. US Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard held bilateral discussions with Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, focusing on the boosting defence and security ties between the two countries. Now, during the meet, ways to enhance defence and security ties were discussed. In a first-time exclusive, US Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard speaks to NDTV's Vishnu Som on a variety of issues. Amid strengthening bilateral ties, Gabbard also speaks on Donald Trump's stance on terrorism. NASA and Elon Musk-owned SpaceX are preparing for the return of the Crew 9 mission from the International Space Station, that is the ISS, targeting an earlier than expected evening touchdown on March 18. Prime Minister Narendra Modi raises serious concerns over anti-India activities taking place in New Zealand. Now, this as he addressed the media alongside visiting Prime Minister of New Zealand. Now, the two leaders held wide-ranging talks at Hyderabad House in New Delhi, focusing on deepening bilateral ties, boosting security cooperation, and tackling pressing issues like terrorism and illegal migration. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, speaking on American scientist Lex Fridman's podcast on Sunday, slammed the United Nations and other international organizations as irrelevant amid rising global conflicts, referring to the ongoing Middle East wars and China-US tensions. According to PM Modi, the organizations have become almost irrelevant as there is no reform left in them. The PM reflected on lessons from the COVID-19 pandemic, which exposed the vulnerabilities of every nation and underscored the need for unity amid raging global tensions. US President Donald Trump said that he would speak to Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday as he pushes to end the war in Ukraine. He says that a lot of work's been done over the weekend. We want to see if we can bring that war to an end. Trump said that land and power plants are part of the conversation around bringing the war to a close. We will be talking about land, we will be talking about power plants, he said. Now, Trump described it as dividing up certain assets. Venezuela's government blasted the US implementation of a rarely used wartime law rapidly blocked by a US judge to deport over 200 alleged members of Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua to El Salvador. Now, Venezuela rejects the application of an anachronistic law, illegal and in violation of human rights against migrants. Now, Venezuela's government said in a statement, adding its profound indignation at the threat of kidnapping 14-year-old children. China's new home prices fell in February, official data showed on Monday, as government measures and promises of more stimulus did little to boost demand in the crisis-stricken sector. The decline of 0.1% versus a month earlier came after 2 months of a relatively steady price. Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi said that his militants would continue to target American ships in the Red Sea as long as the US attacks Yemen, warning if they continue the aggression, we will continue the escalation. Now, the airstrikes, which the Houthi-run health ministry said killed at least 53 people, are the biggest US military operation in the Middle East since President Donald Trump took office in January. One US official told Reuters that the campaign might continue for weeks. GTA 6 launch is scheduled for release in the fall of 2025. The Grand Theft Auto 6 fan following, which is huge by any standard, is all agog and waiting for two things. One is the announcement of the much-anticipated GTA 6 trailer 2, which should have been announced months ago. The second thing is GTA 6 launch date. Now, there is much worry and fear being expressed in the fan communities globally about the game being postponed to 2026. Bumrah picked up the knock during the second day of the fifth test against Australia in Sydney, paving the way for the baggy greens to successfully chase down 162 and clinch the series for the first time in 10 years. Now, Bumrah picked up the knock during the second day of the fifth test against Australia in Sydney, paving the way for the baggy greens to successfully chase down 162 and clinch the series for the first time in 10 years. Viewers, with that, it's a wrap on Market Express. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit. There's more lined up ahead.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every unloam, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breading also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every unloam, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breading also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Very, very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on